All right, good evening, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. You're welcome tonight for our weekly market update. Let's quickly look at what we have for tonight and where do we think we can go to this week and market in general. So, looking at it, you're welcome, everybody. So, if you're just joining us, yes, and you can hear me live and direct, please help me to type 111 on the chat box. You can hear me live and direct, kindly help me type 111 on the chat box and so we can go together. You're welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. If you can hear me live and direct, please type 111 on the chat box very quickly. If you know you can hear me, thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. You're welcome tonight. Remember, this is the beginning of the week, and whatever thing you do right now is what's going to determine um, your week in your trading adventure and all of that. All right. Thank you very much. You're welcome, everybody. You're welcome, everybody. You're welcome, everybody. All right. You're welcome, everybody. Now, this is a place where we treat our business, our trading as our business. Okay. It's not about gambling, not hyping, but just to let people have understanding of the market activities. And we have said trading every instrument in the market. It's an investment vehicle to achieve financial freedom. All right, you're welcome. So tonight we're going to be exposing up to one or two things and looking at the market overview and then how to actually maximize the market as much as possible. All right, so pay attention, even though it's going to be brief to an extent, but definitely if you're attentive, you're going to achieve more. Okay, so this is Felix taking us on a ride on this financial market and how to maximize opportunity in the financial market and what we look at for the week for the market today. Please, if you can see my screen, just type I'll type 222 on the chat box if you can see my screen, everybody. If you can see my screen, help me type 222 on the chat box so that we know we're together. Okay, so if you can see my screen, type 222 on the chat box if you can see my screen, please. You can see my screen type 222 on the chat box, very important, so that I know I'm not talking to myself. All right, thank you very much. Okay, so one person can see my screen. All right, this is great. You're welcome. Thank you very much, and all of that. So tonight is going to be more expose, right? And so I want you to settle down and maximize everything we have. Okay. Now, why is it very, very important to look at the market at the beginning of the week and as much as possible, like crypto, forex? So why is it very, very important? So we're going to hide our scanner. Now, I think I have a long position on Bitcoin. I still have some selling position on last week's sell and not on Bitcoin anyway. I sold Bitcoin last week and both Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then so, all right. So I'm going to erase every mark, every kind of let's take it on. I'm going to take out every drawing right now, and I'm going to hide every indicator. So this is a screen playing chart of Bitcoin. But before we look at that, let's look at the DXY. So DXY continue to rally up. Now, if you have been following us in our trading, you know that we've been talking so much about when DXY was going to take off at a very nice move. Many do not understand, and it has not even taken off. So it's just much more to take off right now. So, but quite a number of persons wouldn't understand why we look at the market from that perspective. First of all, have told us that the first thing we must understand is that the market, the price is fractals, and then you must understand the perspective that if you are buying into any financial instrument, their investment vehicle. So if they're investment vehicle, then you have to be pragmatic about them and all of that. So I'm not going to talk so much. This is the beginning of the week. We're getting into starting, and then it looks as if we're still going to go continuation of USD still getting more strength continually, getting up. Remember where we come from in 2024 or something, yeah, 2024 and all of that. So we stay so long here, and then so DXY is getting more trending, right? And so that means we're looking at still continuation up and all of that. Now, This was not too powerful on maybe Bitcoin is going to give us more move up. So this is not too powerful as that, but probably we can just see how much struggle for Bitcoin for us to continue going up, in Bitcoin as it were. So I'm not going to do too much detail. Some of you, about six people who I asked questions on our free general group, and I'm sure when you are looking at the chat now, you're already picturing something. Am I correct? Because there's some fundamental about trading outlook that you are learning right now that will have given you, what market's about. Now, but take note, we're looking at the weekly time frame right now and what the market should do. So if you look at it on DXY at the opposite, I'm still holding a position on Euro USD. Both GBP USD and Euro USD, I'm still holding a position. Now, if you look at it plainly, that means for a longer period, we're going to go more down, right? Now, I'm not taking out that, okay, this is, most people talk about trend line. So I call it the imaginary line. So even if you are going to go this way, so you can see that we still have a long way to go. And so that means more continuation to the downside. But the first thing is that you're going to have a pullback and then before continuation. I have position on Euro USD that I've been selling, and I have position on GBP USD that I'm still selling. Now we have told you guys that when it comes to the market, the higher time frame is the boss, while the lower time frame is the employee. And so whatever busted the employee is what the employee will do, because of course it's definitely serving the boss. Is that correct? So now, so if you look at, so anything the song, similar songs for similar songs. So let me take off this. Similar songs for all right, similar songs for Euro USD is what you may have in GBP USD, different some kind of fractals as it were, and all of that. So now, so that means you're preparing to look for more of selling in Euro USD, GBP USD, especially Euro USD than buying. So that means invariably you should have more favor, buying up. Though we have been buying up on USD JPY, but it has a different fragrance on its own, as it were, but that may not be too fast like what it did, previous 3 weeks or 4 weeks on the row. One, two, three, four. So we have been bullish, as it were. And so that may not be the narrative that you have, probably this week, as it were. Okay. Now, so then looking at gold, I'm not going detail of this thing. So that means you're looking at gold. This was not the powerful one to that extent, but you still want to have more, pushback on gold, as it were. You understand? As it is for gold, except otherwise. So, but if not, we still want to push down on gold this week, perhaps. But there's something you must understand. Those of us who are trading gold, gold has some level of badness right now. It doesn't have a pure structure, as it were, except on internet structure on lower time frame, and that's where you can find some trade, as it were. But you're going to look at gold to see probably more sell, except for the jump that may do again. All right. Remember some of the past over the weekend kind of continuing crisis, and then the war, that's happening already, Middle East to America to Israel and all of that. So a jump could happen, and so wherever jump happen to, don't think that gold will come back to fill that point as well. So, but I think I still have some bias. Gold was going to be selling. We have some good sell last week, except if you are not following our instructions and direction, and that's why we expect people to pay attention to as much as possible. So oil had been on the consistent rise after the massive pump up, you know, then so you still want to have continuation to the upside for oil and all of that. So if you are trading, okay. So like I've said, for Bitcoin, the momentum is not too massive. It's not too powerful. I've said except that, and if we cross above 74,000, if not, we go nowhere. And then if you look at it, you can see that there's some level of imbalance. Even if it crosses that $74,000 for Bitcoin, then that means we're still having to get respected at about $81,000 and drop again, or probably just cross above. This is the last swing high that we have on daily time frame. And then, except otherwise, if we don't get rejected here, then, or even at this point, so that's about 76, 77, $78,000. Then we still have some sell. So the momentum is very poor, all right, and that's what we're having. So you get to be more confused, but of course, when this kind of closes today, I have a long position on Bitcoin, and that was since yesterday or something, and then it was just struggling. You can see the momentum very poor, all right, and that's one of the things. So, but if you are going on a lower time frame, you can find some powerful entry and all of that. So I have a sell position too here. Okay, yeah, it's still ongoing, and though this is as not as powerful as the selling positions of Euro USD, as it were. Now, why I'm showing us all of these, then in crypto, all right, I bought this token at a point, and I'm expecting, um, if what has been a core, even if Bitcoin does not pump so much, but if you maintain some level of momentum, then you should be having this token still continue to buy up as much as possible. Yeah, so that means we can look at this token going back to about $300. So if you want to buy, so I think I bought some last week and all of that. So I think about $198 or something. So if you want to buy, why not? You can buy, or if you want to just use small lot size to do your futures trading on it, like maybe 3 years or 5 years and all of that. So if because if it's going to get up to this point, that's going to be average of how much? About 45%. So if you use 3x, so that's going to go close to 150%, depending on what's the equity you're loading into it and all of that. Now, this had been doing very well, and those in the token, and so I expect more movement up and all of that. But please take note, when the market, some Bitcoin is not too friendly, then you expect some of those tokens to shake up, to shake down here and there too. But if not, if you're able to navigate and cross above this and test that, then you're going to have more momentum reverse on this token. That has done a very good job. And push down, up, and push down, up, and then if you're able to break above this point, and so you want to write it down, River at 23, and it came to about $16. Was it $16? It came back. That was last week, about 14, $13, yes. So, and you move up for it and all of that. So, but give and take, if you push down and then still give you some discount entry at this price because of this an imbalance we have here, then that's an advantage for you. All right. But this is not for people who do not understand market, because when you buy into it, so you can say, okay, maybe the market could return back to $17. Now, when you buy for maybe prevailing price and then it could push back to $17, you want to add to it, give and take to see how much you can get back to maybe 45 or $50 eventually before the end or before the beginning of next month, April. So if you buy an instrument for 1 month and it's able to do give and take maybe 100% for you, I'm not sure it's a bad deal and all of that. Okay. So that's for crypto. And there are a whole lot of tokens that you can actually pay attention to review on, and then it's going to give you an advantage. All right. So I'm just scanning through because I have a lot to do tonight. And so now, so let's give and take. We have talked about currencies and then stock. Of course, Monday open is where you're going to see a lot of stock. We have mentioned um, both local and international stock. A good number of people don't pay attention. This is how Fitzin had traveled to above 100 naira. For us, that's a stock bought at about less than 10 naira. They've eventually what at 15 naira for a very long time and all of that. So we bought some stock. Now, if you buy stock, there's something that many of us do not pay attention to. When we are buying to stock, we heard the narrative that, oh, stocks just for a long time, just buy and hold it. That's not true, right? In fact, the financial experts, they will tell you that stock is more volatile, not stable investment like bonds and all of that. But that people have so much money. I only tell people. So if you want to do that, you have to like look for a way to buy, to sell, and as much as possible. Do you understand? So instead of like just holding on to one stock, and then if it's not a dividend stock, then you want to buy it when you sell. When you buy, you will buy low, you sell high, and all the like. Okay. So now, so like I said, Bitcoin, we need to, or we still continue to move up, as it were. For Euro USD, the selling still continue because I sold last week, and then we're still going to be selling this week. Okay, so give and take. If I look at Euro USD, you may be asking, so at what price will I be buying? Of course, when the market open, you want to wait for a while, and then you want to look at some situation here. Okay, sorry, just a moment. Now, and this is what first of all we recommend for beginners: Euro USD, GBP USD, and all of that. Okay, so you want to be buying probably if it's not aggressive, you want to still be buying at what a discount or a premium and all of selling. Sorry, not buy. Entering the market for selling at premium maybe at this point about 1.14706 region, and then to be selling more as it were. Okay, so this is very, very lovely. And basically, if I just put you through a little thing about when the persons want to sell the market or buy a market, or you want to find an entry to a market. Now, this guy ought to have buy options, but I don't want to know. I have a position that's still running through there. It took me so much time at the point I was just capping it. Okay, that's GBP and so it took me so much because that was a sell since 20 December. No, 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 that was a sell since last year, right? Yeah, October, October sell. That's what's still going on up to now. So that we have not found. Now, so when I take some of those instruments, is that you want to work? Just a moment. Okay, so some of us who buy coins or buy instrument or enter market at random is actually unfortunate because most time we are so emotional. We want to just enter market. Sometimes you can wait for a market for a very long time and you wouldn't find an entry, and that's what it is. For instance, now if you look at crypto, now have been struggling, and if you look at gold, there are things you know about the market. Now look at gold. On a good day, if you look back to as long as possible, you're having a very nice structure. All right. What we tell people is that there are a few things we you must pay attention to. I'm sure I've been talking about this. I call it three pillars of market. All right, the three pillars of market. So where, okay, why, okay, and when. These are very critical questions you must ask yourself. You want to buy into the market, all right? Irrespective of what you do, if you want to trade the market, you need to ask yourself where, why, and when. So, where is the narrative of where should I be looking for this market to enter from? And that's what bring about it. So, I do quickly just short analysis. All right. Now, there's a lot of routine people, trader, if you're trading Forex and then you're trading crypto and all of that. So, definitely you want to understand what's happening fundamentally. And that's why people make use of what they call, Forex factory. I want to look at the red envelope as much as possible. So, we're having tomorrow now to be 16th of March 2025. And then you want to look at are there fundamental news that you're going to be, especially on the US base. Now, if there are none, if you are the type that trade Canadian dollar against any other asset, then there are fundamental news about it. You want to understand, like what happened last week, what helped my trade to go very fast on the USD JPY was the JPY fundamental was against them. and then so the market just have a very long ride. If not, the market was not going down. Now, if there are so that like this week supposed to be a very smooth ride week, if you have a good momentum in the market. Now, if you look at gold, if I want to trade gold, the first thing is that if you look at it, gold ordinarily on daily time frame, if you look at it, you can say, okay, we said the first thing that matters to you in the market is what we call structure. So you want to look at the structure in the market, perhaps, and then you want to look at the narrative in terms of the bias for the market. So if you look at it right now, you can say, okay, the market actually broke a structure here and break another structure here. Now there was a retest of this other block, right, that the market actually respected into, or you can say the market actually came back to this demand zone. So and then bounce up. But all this while we have issues. So this is supposed to be a swing low and there's also a swing high. So if that is the case, so you want to look at okay, the narrative is that are we bullish actually? Yes. Okay, if we are bullish, so what's going to happen? I'm supposed to be taking market from this low to this swing high. I'm looking for a proper entry. Now, the proper entry here, right? The proper entry here is that sometime you need to have with this move, you need to have okay, yeah, so sorry, this move here, you need to have broken this all this while, but you have not. So that means this market that was still running now was here because this was the break, and then that was this was here from downward here to this point here, and this market came to the extreme. Now you have this unbroken, and so that means you have to resort to a lower time frame, perhaps maybe 4 hours, to see a different structure entirely. Now, this is why most people lost a lot of trade in gold because they don't pay attention to the narrative that gold was now painting. Now go start creating another structure on 4 hour time frame and result in bringing another different structure entirely because we have a break to the up, then we have a low here. Now, even if you don't recognize this internal low, then this is the external low that the market actually broke again, and then we return back. So you can say, okay, probably this is the you know shift in the market structure, and then return back to this fair value gap, and then you are selling. So here we are in a very delicate point now to say, okay, if the market, but you're still looking at it, the market to continue going down. If you're on 4 hours, you probably would be looking at, okay, if gold is going to come down to this point. All right. So, but these are very, very subject to other internal structure. So that you probably go to 1 hour sometime and then see the market actually tripping and confusing a lot of people. I can tell you, good number of people might have not been trading gold all this while, or they have been losing trade on gold. That was the first time that gold could respect coming back to a jump after the move away from that. And so you have this. This is a structure on its own. Then you have the market actually have shift in the market structure and the retracement, and then you have another breakout structure, and the markets came down massively. Then you want to have a return back. Then you begin to have internal structure, which I may not have time to start going down to as low as possible. Taking from here again now, you start having different structure, a high, and then the low. That is a shift in market structure, and then returning back. There's something very significant that happened last week that many people do not understand, and that's why we tell people that you must understand market sessions. At the end of the day, if you see my line here, when I sold from here, what was I respecting? And that's where we go to the more lower time frame in 15 minutes. I listen to a lot of people who tell you they don't trade anything less than 4 hours. Or so see, that's not the case of gold. Be very careful what you hear on social media and all of that. That's not the case of gold. Gold have a serious, massive volume that somebody will tell you I don't trade in. That is when gold is trending. See, a lot of people who are claiming to be gold masters, very soon, don't worry. When gold resume back to its shell, you can be trading gold, and if you go to normal structure, a textbook format on higher time frame, I can tell you for 1 month you will not find an entry. To trust me, you will never find an entry because it will just be rolling. In few seconds you move up, in few seconds you come down, and in that you have done 1,500 pips, as simple as possible. Okay, so for you to find a proper structure, you now see that you're going to lower time frame on gold. Now, this will happen last week. We traded session by session. Asia session was here, London session pick it out, and then we have a New York session, mitigate another block, fair value gap that many will not pay attention to see properly. Look at it over here. Now, but why is this so lovely? I've told a lot of people, I said, instead of waiting for people's signal, telegram signals and all that, I don't say we don't give signal. But the best signal is that when you have a scanner that's going to be generating signal for you. For example, let me just enable the indicator now. These are scanners. Can you see now? Look at selling point. Can you see? This is a massive. Now, why is it good for you to know basic? Now, if you check one thing I said the best thing you can ever have in this session now is what we call this mindset, right? Plus tool set, all right? All right, mindset plus skill set, okay? Mindset plus skill set plus tool set is equals to assets. All right. So asset that guarantee consistent return. Listen, see, this is the secret of market today. Mindsets that you already make up your mind, right? Build up your personal development, not necessarily know too many. So imagine now what is the confluence? I was talking about where, when, and where, why, and when. So if you look at it here, when the market was here, so if I go to 1 hour time frame, for instance, and I'm looking at the structure, so let me just hide these guys right now, and then I'm looking at the structure the market was trailing and all of that. So I discovered that this is a what? A shift in market structure over here, and then so I expect the market to rally back up, and then when it rallied back up here, as well, and you go to low time frame probably and say. So the first thing is the narrative. You're looking at the narrative, and then the second thing is okay, why? Why is that? If you look at my 15-minute time frame, Felix, why did you enter here? Why will you enter here? Oh, the narrative is this. The market here we have another block, right? We have another block, and then we have a market structure shift. Yeah, so we have another block. We have a market structure shift. This is it. Now remember, this is like more or less like a reversal trend. And when you catch a reversal trend, it makes a lot of sense. But all of these are internal structure. Imagine gold. So what if for her is that it shifts? This is what we call sweep of liquidity. So a liquidity sweep and a break. Then the leg that caused the break, a fair value gap there, returning back to it, that's your entry. Do you get that? Very, very simple. I'm not teaching you so much now here. Here was a high, here was a low. And this low sweep this because that's not a breakup structure. And now that gives us signal, oh, we're about to go. And now let me tell you one thing. Now, having gotten this, oh, this market, this is what do you call it? This is a liquidity sweep. So liquidity, and we have said something very, very significant when you listen to training. We said liquidity is the fuel for price. Liquidity is a fuel for price. So wherever liquidity is, market or price magnetory. So it's a fuel. It gets there to be amplified. Okay, so when the market was trending, so if you are not working with internal structure, you're going to cause problem for yourself. Okay, so if not, because you have this low here, we have this high here. So that means this is a low, this is a high. Is that got it now? So this is a low, this is a high, and then this is a low. And so if this is a low, this is a high. So that means by virtue of the, you keep having internal structure. This is a market structure simply. Why? The market was going down this point, and then it created a high, and I had a low, and then it smashed that. That's a shift in market structure. So with this shift, all right, if you look at one thing that didn't happen here, because if you're scalping, with this shift, there is another fantastic thing that was here, which is what called the fair value gap. So we always look at different things. So this is where, okay, where should I be taking this market? So we have a shift, we have a market structure shift, we have a high here, then we have the market pushback and mitigate this fair value gap and move up again to smash off this as a strip of liquidity. And now let's quickly look at it. Our scanners is programmed. Why did he give you a sell here? Now listen, he gave you a sell here because our market, our scanner, and when it came here, before the market actually moved, if you do a replay here, you're going to see that the market must have given a buy signal here. Let me tell you why. It gave you a buy signal because it came to an imbalance. So our scanner is programmed around number one, price action, number two, liquidity concept, number three, smart money. And that's what this is buy, sell, actually work with. Now, having governed that, for anyone who is using this scanner, will have been into the market even before the next confirmation. How do we mean? Because this is accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. And now, because this scanner work with that philosophy, haven't seen this. Now, all I need is because when the market was moving up, this scanner had printed a buy, a sell here. Now, as the market take it out, because this is sweep, it brought it out. Listen, scale by scale. This was a sweep of liquidity. This candle carried the initial sell scanner signal. Now, and again, this is like a displacement of this candle. It bring that. That is not my confirmation. My confirmation is the third candle close because we said it's a three candle pattern. Now, when the candle closed, that means I was going to be entering my market very, very snappy here at this candle close here. Now my stop loss is going to be above the resistance level. So not necessarily above this week, but above this. That's the complement of this scanner working together with key levels. Now look at it. You are looking at the market. So to an extent, because this has been mitigated, now you're going to be looking at this fair value gap here. All right. Or you're targeting at this low down here. Now, if you look at this low down here, that's already 1 ratio 2.35. That means losing about 184 pips to make about 430 pips, right? Now, this is what happened. Instead of being afraid that the market actually returned back here, what did he do here? He come to mitigate this fair value gap, and then immediately he mitigate, we have a rejection. I know some persons, when this rejection happened as it closed, they're entering, then some wouldn't wait for this because you are not envisaging that because it's already at the fair value gap. Now, one of the lovely things is that if you see that entering to this point was already another discount because it's more a premium at this point, and then you add in more position. It's going back, your spot loss here. It doesn't matter what this market is doing, and then that's what we have this massive set. Now, guess what? Now, this is why I'm giving you why. Why is it? Number one, we have a sweep of liquidity. Number two, we have our scanner confirmations because power of three. Number four, and number three, we have this point here you have was like Asia session sweep, an Asia session sweep, and then is the London manipulate the market up, then the New York now distribute or deliver it down. Though it's tentative because if the market is an uptrend, then it's always find a way to first manipulate in down and then deliver to the up. And that's exactly what play out in the market that what you saw now continue. So what are we going to have this week? Like I've told you, we still want to have a pullback this week and continue selling on gold. Ladies and gentlemen, now it doesn't matter what instrument. So exactly why do I took a trade yesterday on BTC? Look at it here. This is 15-minute time frame. Did you know that my market was struggling here, but I never bothered because now I have a scanner that give me more confidence to an extent, at least second confirmation, and that's exactly what was happening. And that's why we look at Bitcoin. That okay, we just need to ravel off over this point here. Look at it. Look at it. Can you see that? So we just need to ravel up to this point and clear off this point. And remember, I say until we clear above $74,000, we go nowhere. All right, you can see now that if we cross that point I was mentioning, that the market travel back to, which is the fair value gap, at that point and all of that. So irrespective of the market you trade, then you should understand what you want to do per time. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, so taking the trade and following the sequential order of executing your trade. I've just told you to buy ZEC that you can still buy. So I already bought, right? I bought some. Then talked about River too, that has some extent. It has been doing well and they have done so massive well. So imagine from $11, all right, from $11 to $24. That's massive. $11 to $24, that's more than 100%. All right. So the pullback still happening and all of that probably. And then this is what it is. Okay. So I've told you about the Euro USD. We're supposed to have continual selling. All right. And then GBP USD, the same thing. We're supposed to have the continual selling. Last week, some of you who attended our live session, you remember where we're telling people that you can still sell here and all of that. I know quite a number of people who sold and the market pushed back a little. They ran away. That's the truth. But I think we sold some here. Now look at it here. We saw some here. What do you see here? Why did this signal give a sell signal? This is a sweep of liquidity. So liquidity swept, oh, returned back to the region, and then power free formed. That gives a very fantastic. So first, you want to look at the narrative. What's happening there? If you look at it here now, you can see that there's a fair value gap here. That is where, all right, we call them institutional footprint. When it come there, why? Oh, it has this, that's that. Okay, that's the precision. When should I not take? When the market behave like this, when the price give maybe an engulfing candle or a shift in market structure, then you are taking the entry. That's just what we're talking about. The where, the why, and the when. If you want to learn more, of course, maybe you have to subscribe to our training platform to learn more detail about this. But give or take. So for you trading forex, so you want to look at Euro USD, GBP USD to the opening of the market to be selling them or continue to sell. But when you want to sell, understand that candlestick pattern. When you want to sell, expect the market to first buy. Okay, so when it first buy, and then when it first buy and it's now reversing or rejecting, that's when you now sell. Not that because you want to sell the market this week now, and the market just open, you now enter your market and click on sell. No, 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 you don't do that. You wait for the market to first buy, and then that is like it manipulate people, all right? Because what was existing was accumulation, and it manipulate people and then deliver back to the. So that's exactly what you should be doing when the market open. You want to see it expand to an opposite side and then deliver to the opposite of the expansion. Does that make sense? So this is a very simple way. I just like what this I was talking about this scanner now. It's already telling you potentially we are broken a structure and then we are buying. But has it validated? No. Until it closes and the next candle opposing there, preceding it actually close above this, then you want to be taking it very seriously. Okay. So that is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Because I have met a lot of people asking questions, and I said, trading now is the most easiest thing you can embark on. True. Trading now is the most easiest thing you can embark on. The unfortunate thing is this. Please don't take it, don't just put the trigger on my head. When I talk about trading is the easiest thing you can ever embark on, the best you can do for yourself is to just get basic. And then you have supporting tools. That's why I say mindset, skill set, and tool set. Very, very simple. Just get the basic with tools, just like I'll show you now about the scanner. So what happened? Why am I going to be buying and seeing selling? Because this has reduced the stress, right? It has done the major work for me. And then I should be looking for maybe a buy, maybe a sell, and as it were. But rather than that, you see that if I had wanted to be doing analysis, what will have happened? Let me take it off. So we will see that I will have come to the market. Number one, I want to look at the overall trend, maybe on daily time frame, right? Overall trend is a downtrend. All right. Then, but if you now look at it now, so what do? I begin to do what we call top down analysis. Now, if it's top down analysis, this is a low and this is a high. Okay, so that means here, what do I do? So now look at it. Now this is a high, this is a low, and this is a low too. That means the market, what did it do here? There's a breakout structure to the down. And what gave birth to this high? So that means I'm looking at this high that when the market take it out, it's going to be very, very fantastic for me. Can you see that? So that means this market become what they call market structure shift. Okay. Now, so I have to do all of this analysis irrespective of the time you're trading on. And now say, okay, what am I waiting for? I wait for this market to actually come down to what we call order block. Or for instance, I take my Fibonacci retracement and take from this swing low to this swing high to see where the market will come to the discount. All right. So the discount is for me buying and the premium is for me selling. Okay. So here the market actually come here. Now you look at inside that box. What is so significant? That is why. Here is where, okay, I'm waiting for the market to come down to this point. That is where. And that's a reference point, or I call it area of focus, or what they call it point of interest. It's not actually a point. For me, it's an area. Okay, so an area of focus. And now when the market actually travel down to it, probably if you look at this opposing candle as a full-fledged of another block that have been mitigated. Okay, so if it has been mitigated, so what I'm going to have is a demand zone. Okay, so a demand zone that captures this here. This is a demand zone. Okay, so what did it do? The market actually traveled to the demand zone and started reacting. Okay, so I probably want to now be looking at, okay, let me go to low time frame, 4 hours, so that I can see a quick entry. All right, when the market comes, especially if you are a swing trader and all of that. When the market came, this is 4 hours. Now you look at, you are going to have substructure. Now when the market came there, you probably want to go to 1 hour, go to 30 minutes, just to refine and find a quick entry with a very, very minimal stop loss. So you can see that on 1 hour, this is a breakout structure, this is a high, this is a swing failure, this is a market structure shift. Now this is a breakaway. Now it didn't come back to the other block, the fair value gap, then the market continued. The same thing. You have this, a high, and a low. And then you have these to retrace, it didn't come back here, only retested to this point. And that's exactly what you'll be doing to act to now get to where finally you want to take a trade. All right. So now you can see this is what called top-down analysis. So when the market come down, maybe you have a candle pattern like what candle pattern, engulfing candle, or the power of three, like we always mentioned. Now, but by that time, if you now go to add up your scanner, look at where it has asked us to buy. And then when you bought there, the market continue in that order. Now, I haven't done that. We saw this massive drop. Okay, we saw this massive drop here. And then your scanner is telling you to buy. Okay, so that will have been what you were running. Then the market is struggling. So if you look at it, we need to break above this point in order to come to meet up above $74,000 for Bitcoin. But nevertheless, I have a buying position that's still running, and then you allow the market to run. So, ladies and gentlemen, we don't hype things. We just like to let you know that the best option you can adopt is to work on understanding just basic, and then you can now get the tool set to help yourself. Trust me, trading is the best and easiest thing you can do now. Being in future trading, being in Forex, being in synthetic, and all of that. But this supporting tool can actually help you to maximize trade. And the lovely thing is that, like I've mentioned earlier, it does not, it trade all things as stock. All right. This is not robot. Okay. So please, this is not robot. So good number of people say, okay, I'll put my money in robot, help me, and all of that. Well, either you like it or not, some of those things they are the way they are, they are just the way they are. All right. Um, why do I say they are the way they are? Because when people are told to just get basic, they claim to be over busy. Okay, my word. This is unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. This is a stock, it's a local stock. The first time I bought this stock, BOA, was in 2019 or 2020, and that was about 67 naira, and then was doing what it was doing. So look at it now. This is a stock, for instance, local stock, Nigerian stock for that matter. See where it asks people to buy here in 2022, right? That's about 49. 14. Yeah, after I bought at 60 something, it came back to 49 naira and all of that. From that 49 naira, went up here, all right, in 2020 to 2024, that's about 180 naira per shares. If class down again, that was last year, and then you were able to buy at 84 naira per share. So since that time now, you're still holding on, or probably you may sell here because that was a rejection, and then till it returned back to 152. There you go. That's a stock that's about 270 naira per share now. And I think we are buying. What's causing this now is the dividend that will be given by the month of April, if I'm not mistaken. I could check the timetable and all of that. So, but yet you can see your scanner still picking it out to trade stock. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the simplest way of trading. You don't bother yourself. Okay, I've told a lot of people just know basics and then follow the basics. All right, it give you access to say buy here, you buy, and then sell here, you sell, and then manage your trade by yourself. So this is not the kind of robot. We'll give you a robot. We're going to be using our robot. We'll use our robot to no. You are involved. You are in charge by yourself. All right, just to get a guide. So you don't need to do over analysis, but when you have basic understanding, they make more sense. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, yes, what's it called? Link. I bought it too. Last I think bought about five different crypto, on futures. All right. Okay. So thank you very much, everybody. I've told you you can look for buying River, and was ZEC. Okay, yeah, these two coins. And then there are some other one, but I probably will not remember as much as possible right now. Now, lastly, let me tell us, some of you who are listening to me, we have number of prop firm we ask people to register. Let me tell you why. Many people complain about prop firm. Prop firm is bad, and then I say, hey, there's one lovely thing about prop firm, unless you deceive yourself, is that it helps you to learn how to be focused and how to maintain discipline in your trading. That's fine. They are doing it to protect their money. That's true. But how about if you learn those protection tools or parameters and you're able to apply it to your own personal funding? How about that? It will make a lot of sense. And so I'm part of people who do not encourage demo. I say, how long are you going to be in demo? So why don't I get a prop firm? All right. Especially right now we have some that allow you to pay a token. Like we have one that you can pay $8.8 and register and start your challenge account. When you pass, you pay the money and all of that. Things are more simplified. And so I also tell people that what you need more now, mindset, skill set, and tool set. Capital, there are so many ways to get capital. Yes, yeah, I just mentioned about the prop firm. We have some prop firm too in crypto. So there are so many ways to get things done, when it comes to the financial market. So you simply just pay attention, don't complicate issues for yourself, and then you can take advantage of the market. Okay, so we have situations of uh, diversifying. So buying into stock, portfolio building on stock, portfolio building on crypto, and then active trading using scanners to reduce the stress on and trade forex very smoothly. I have a lot of testimonials who have sent me their report, how much they made in a week, and all of that. Amazing. I had somebody sent me a message that I made about $6,500 this week. But that's the same week many of us are complaining, right? 6,700, $6,500 this week. So that was the week that I just completed. And he told me, oh, thank you very much. I never knew trading can be so this easy. I said, then don't just look it as easy. If it's so easy, trading is boring. Okay? Trading is boring. No, agree with me. Trading is boring. If trading is not yet boring to you, then you are not started. Trading must be boring to you. Sometimes you do review and you are waiting for the market to come. It can take you 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and that's just how boring. And you shouldn't change. And okay, this person knows since he's buying now, let me join his own and all of that. No. So trading is boring and it's individualistic. So approach your skill set and then funding. There's so many ways to get fund right now. It's just the skill set that is more important. So intentionally build it, right? Intentionally build it for strength, for understanding, for expansion as much as possible. Okay. One other thing I've said, okay, I talk about profem, I talk about some other things. So that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Learn basics, apply the basics, and then you can be in money. Okay. Now, if you know you are live watching us and you are not yet on our, free group, you can join our free group. All right, it's free on Telegram. Pay attention, follow learning, ask questions. If you are not clear enough, you'll be clarified. Then advance your level to enroll for, PBS Club or buying scanner is $200 per year, and then other things follow. So that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. And then to make money is very, very easy, but it requires a lot of discipline so that you don't waste the little you have made. All right, thank you very much tonight. So see you guys tomorrow. And of course, we still felt that the live session, we say we're going to reduce to only one for non-subscriber. So we continue tomorrow 1 p.m. is a time. And so you have your friends to connect with us on YouTube, and then you can learn. At least we do live trading and scalping, and not just teaching, but scalp to make money, especially with gold, and then you can take it off from there. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Do have a nice sleep, and bye bye.